Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Brendan Moriarty, and I have this sort of epiphany or something that I'm in constant disbelief of, and that's this fact, this reality that when I need something, the world suffers. When I help other people's with their needs, okay, I should have written this down, but I don't have a place to write it down. When I'm trying to solve my problems, there's confusion. But when I'm trying to solve other problems, other people's problems, there's great sort of focus. Incredible, such great focus that I'm usually just cut out of the deal like right away. It's sort of like, I'll do that, sort of. And I'm glad to see that happen because that takes away one of my obligations. Though if it is helping other people, and it doesn't become this sort of secret mission to help other people's, but rather public understanding. Actually, I got this this note that I just little ditty I wrote. It goes: public detection in a real country, tracing the lines between civilization and singularity. Okay, so tracing, yes, of course. Are we healthy or just happy? Just everybody laugh, sort of cheerleaders and stuff like that. Or are we actually doing the things that no one really wants to talk about, that if someone does talk about it, we become very interested in it. Okay? But that can't be no one. It has to be someone who isn't afraid to tackle all the problems and to allow other people, if they come along, and that's only if they come along, obviously, right? You're there, hello. And yeah, to let other people get involved. Again, it's basically dealing, if George Washington wanted to make money, okay, he was a spendthrift, and I think what we want is esteem. We don't want to buy stuff, but rather we want to experience stuff. We want to go somewhere that we can push the right button. Okay, because I see this this guy having a need, having his own personal needs. Oh, I gotta take care of my servants. I have to buy my stuff and all this, get this, get more land. And it's not civilization, so it's uncivilized, so it's going into this scapegoat, cop-out situation where behind you is Frankenstein. Okay, that's the information, the propaganda, okay, the technology that we need, but also our secrets, and to keep ourselves, understanding without being polarized. I guess that's secrets don't really have an and. So secrets and keep going. So no, it's basically you have a tiny percentage of the population who have personal needs, sociological needs. It's not really personal needs like I need you. Sort of a lustful cop out a joke. I need to tell bad jokes. That's not true. It's like someone saying I need to get to do drugs or something like that. That's not really necessarily true without a medical sort of. But the thing that's more important than medical is societal. So sociological is more important than, because if you don't have a healthy society, what are you getting? You're trying to. I don't know what the analogy is. I don't know. Trying to keep a net afloat. Okay, trying to catch a fish with a boat, or something like that. So basically, what I'm talking about is that personally, if I go shopping for anything that I need, I need a place to stay, I need a car, I need a girlfriend, a wife, food, You know, you have to go to get food and maybe some clothes. You might have someone give you a shirt here and there, you know, a snack here and there, but you need your own security so that you can offer it to other people, because that's, if you can't, you know, if you're just a beggar, boy, oh boy, that's an angry person, potentially. However, when I, personally, get involved in other people's things, and I am not in need myself, so my basic, just very basic geographic reality, you know, I'm not wondering who's going to pop through the door, or, you know, where my next meal is coming from, or where I'm going to sleep in peace. You know, if all those things are solved, and then you give me any problem, and I will bring attention to that problem, okay? But it's heartbreaking, because I want to smash it. Really, to have to, you know, to think like, you know, standing on a corner with your needs in your hand and your hope in the other. It's that's like saying everyone else, wait for this, you know, wait for me. Okay, that's basically, and I'm not saying, I'm just observing it, that we see this. We see George Washington. We know the spendthrift. Classic American, English speaking, Jean-Key. Proud. Hello, I am George Washington. I'm spacing out here. If you identify that he has a high intelligence, and that he has a sociological historical. I'm telling you guys, if you invite and educate the frontier American, which is George Washington, then maybe you avoid the wars and you drive technology. But if you say, oh yeah, well, let him come and spend his money and stand on, you know, in some hellhole, some poverty, you say, yeah, come in and enjoy the poverty, then you're not really saying we want to solve the problems. Okay, that's and I know it's very difficult, man. It's like nobody's from the frontier. Okay, George Washington has become just a myth, but it was always that way. It's just geographic passage. If there was a way for Columbus to go to Asia, there would have never been slavery. Okay, we would have gone there and had grateful people who are, you know, the more spiritually endeavored, sort of, they're vegetarians. They have to teach us about that, you know, so that we can sort of straighten out some of our excesses and corruptions. But we have to send our most urgent need, which is the frontier. Okay, I know it's very complex. It's our most esteemed, most capable people must be incorporated, or the whole thing unravels. If you say, no, we don't need that strongest thread, then we're just going to unravel the thing. And while we're looking at a photograph, a picture of this myth, okay, the sort of hopeless, you know, how much drugs, you know, you're going to have to do, if you could only get them, right? Yes, please. My eyes too. So it's this is, you know, this is an epiphany, and it's subconscious, but it's also subconscious denial, that this is just keep going on and on, that yeah, You know, what is the ultimate competition? It is a test, right? Because there you can't cheat or be lucky because you take the test again and again. So that's, you know, what a test is a competition. Only it's not always it's not always, you know, get the greased up body type of competition. But maybe that's true. Maybe that's the second test. That's the test where you become a winner or a happy loser or something. The test is to find who can be the most responsible. You know, and do you want them to be responsible for themselves? You know, sort of wandering around aimlessly, or do you want them to be responsible for everything else but themselves? You know, someone else could, but you know, this is the impossible question, because you're like totally bumming me out. You know, you're the world, it thinks of America as a penal colony. Now Australia was the one that really became one, and it turned around like it just, it's hard to explain. I mean, they're not like the, you know, number one or anything like that, but they're happy. But the thing is, the old world fell apart, right? Right around, just shortly after Australia became a country. And all I can say is that if you have responsibilities, right, and you have the ability to deal with them, and you're not just, you know, sort of shaking your head and gonna go, you know, sort of you know, staring the problem down, but this is just pure science, okay? The person who has the greatest ability should be focusing on the world. If that's what you want, and not something else, you know, you want the world to be safe, you know, you have to find the most intelligent people with the greatest experience. Okay, now again, the old world's going to think penal colony. You know, if it's not from Siberia, we get nothing. We get, you know, nothing is more important than culture. Okay, you know. All right. So, anyways, I'm trying to focus. It takes incredible focus to do this work. I need a place to study. Okay, and I know you're thinking, well, if you have needs, you know, we will suffer for those. You know, just because, you know, every time you need something, we'll just suffer. And it's pretty twisted, okay? Because people will think, oh, he knows what to do. He's so smart. But if I knew what to do, I would have done it a long time ago. George Washington wouldn't have gone to war. Okay, they would have found a diplomatic solution if only he knew, if only he had ever remotely studied global understanding. Not like a tourist, but as someone who can deal with problems, who has dealt with their own problems and realizes the fundamentals of a world that is at a sort of singularity. Okay, you come up with new communications technology, and the world does a flip every time. It has a revolution, it has a revolt, but the question is it improving, or is it just leveling out? Is it just, you know, are you progressing, you know, lifting it, or are we sinking? You know, this is the question to which there is always a comedy, because, you know, otherwise we'd go crazy. But that's the question.